Bill. Now my checks are coming every month.
I'm Dr. Bill Latour. I'm both a psychologist and a lawyer. I know what to do to get you approved.
Sign up from anywhere with our safe, no-contact sign-up process.
Imagination to me is gold. It frees me. Ultimate Pace gives me a place to go and a place to be. I have breakfast. I go to some physical therapy, but I feel better for the rest of the time until the next time I show up. The mental refueling takes place. And I know I certainly go home, and if I've got something in my head, I end up writing until midnight or something. All in all, Pace comes in and says, don't worry, it still can be good.
You asked, how do I save money on my home loan? IntelliLoan offers a 15-year fixed at 2.49% rate in APR. Call IntelliLoan at 800-918-9200. IntelliLoan. Borrow smart.
We are also following breaking news this afternoon out of Anaheim, where a number of people were arrested after what started as a peaceful protest.
KTLA's Orange County Bureau Chief Chip Yost, he is live now in Anaheim with more. Chip?
Yeah, hey there, Glenn. Well, they did have some problems in one particularly dangerous situation, which you'll hear about in a moment. Overall, folks here in Anaheim happy with the way things turned out, especially compared with some of the situations we've seen elsewhere in Southern California. They're giving community members a lot of the credit. Some of those community members seen here. Let's show you some video. This video from La Palma Park yesterday. This protest started around 4 p.m. in La Palma Park. Hundreds of people, crowd estimated to be 700 to 1,000 folks, showed up peacefully protesting. They started marching towards City Hall. It was near City Hall. They were afraid they might have some trouble because of some online posts by some other folks who were apparently planning to show up, and they did indeed get some trouble a little bit later on. In all, they made 25 arrests. 21 of those were protest related. One arrest they didn't make, though, was for possibly the most dangerous situation. That is when somebody decided to fire one of those mortar-type fireworks toward police. Here's more from one of the police department sergeants.
You can face a charge of an assault with a deadly weapon. Everybody thinks that these are, small fireworks that we're taking. They're not. They're commercial-grade fireworks. We did have an Anaheim officer injured in Santa Ana during their protest who took a mortar round to the stomach, basically below his vest, and it blew a hole in his uniform, and he suffered burns and shrapnel wounds to his stomach. There's in several areas. They're dangerous, and when you purposely shoot them at another person, you could absolutely be charged with a crime.
Now, you heard him reference the event, some of the protests in Santa Ana over the weekend. 2 other officers were injured in those protests from mortar-type fireworks. As for the arrests here in Anaheim yesterday, 4 of the 25 arrests were for alleged looting. In that case, police again giving credit to community members. They say they got a 911 call from some community members that saw some folks trying to break into a market here in Anaheim. Police showed up. According to police, some of those community members actually helped stall the getaway of the alleged looters, so they were able to point to them. Police got 4 people under arrest for that. For now, reporting live in Anaheim, I'm Chip Yost, KTLA 5 News.
A few dozen demonstrators took part in a peaceful protest near South Coast Plaza in Costa Mesa last night in anticipation of a much larger crowd. The city barricaded the 405 freeway, ramps, and parking lots around the mall. And the American Civil Liberties Union is reminding people about their app that can help record interactions with law enforcement. The Mobile Justice app was first launched back in 2015. It automatically uploads videos to ACLU's servers as they're recorded. In case the phone is taken or then destroyed, users are also asked to add details to the incident, including the location and who is involved. It also teaches users about their rights, which may differ from state to state. The Mobile Justice app is available for iOS and Android in 17 states, including California.
Police scanners and crime alert apps are now some of the most popular downloads. An app called 50 Radio Pro Police Scanner is now the #1 app in Apple's App Store. It costs $5 and lets you listen into police and firefighter scanners around the nation. An ad-supported version of the app is currently ahead of TikTok on the free charts. Meanwhile, the Citizen app is also seeing a large number of downloads. It sends notifications to users about nearby crimes and incidents and allows users to broadcast live video of what is happening near them.
Well, some rideshare and food delivery companies are adjusting hours to account for curfews. Dozens of cities here and across the country are asking people to stay home during the night. Uber tells The Verge it will coordinate with local leaders to make scheduling adjustments. It says it has already suspended service in Los Angeles, Minneapolis, Oakland, and San Francisco. And DoorDash and Lyft also say they will comply with those curfews.
All right, we'll be right back with more coverage right after this break.
The Money Market Report brought to you by Owning, bringing trust and simplicity to both real estate and mortgage.
If your mortgage rate is higher than 2.5%, call 833-7-OWNING for a no closing cost refi now. That's no closing costs, none, zero, at owning.com or call 833-7-OWNING.
What makes the law offices of Larry H. Parker the #1 injury law firm in Southern California?
We think it's all about our experienced lawyers.
We've served more than 100,000 clients
Since 1977.
We've been successful in 95% of our cases.
An average of $507 on auto insurance. Compare that to State Farm, Geico, even Allstate. Call now for your free auto insurance quote to find out how much you could save.
By switching over to AAA Insurance, we saved over $450. So with our savings, we bought more equipment.
More money means more practice equipment.
And world.
Why didn't we do this earlier? Why did it take so long?
We're AAA.
Insurance allows us to do so much more with our kids. More time with them.
To find out how much you could save by switching to AAA Insurance, call
Injured in an accident and are currently involved in a case, you deserve a second opinion to ensure that your case is on the right track. Call us for a free second opinion with absolutely no obligations.
And we'll get through the toughest of times together. Call.com. Turn to KTLA 5 for continuing coverage of the unrest in Los Angeles and Southern California. Demonstrations and violent crimes. The response
These are protesters exiting 6th Street off the 110 eastbound. They had been walking, literally, they still are on the 110 there. Some walking, some carrying signs and banners, also a couple of cyclists along the way. There was a protest earlier that started around 10 o'clock downtown Los Angeles in May.
Surface streets is one thing, but when you start trying to protest on a freeway or an off-ramp or on-ramp, as you see right here, traffic's got to stop for this guy with a bicycle so he can get across, and because he has absolutely no business being there in the first place.
Yeah, it can be very dangerous, and not just for the protesters, it can be dangerous for drivers because a lot of people are nervous drivers, and if they see a group of people or cyclists around them, they can get nervous and hit the brakes or the accelerator and end up hitting another vehicle or a protester. But it looks like these protesters have decided to get off the 110. We're being told that this is 6 is what they exited. Unclear what that goes into if they're exiting 6, what this street would be here.
It should be Figueroa, I think. But we've got protesters all over. I mean, there's City Hall and a sense of City Hall. You've got this group in downtown LA. There may be more. There's protesters out at Manhattan Beach, Northridge, and of course we've been watching the past several hours what's been going on here in Hollywood.
So those cars there, you can see.
And there's another group. The group off the freeway, and now there's people walking up Figueroa to meet up with these people.
And the unfortunate part here is that there are vehicles on these streets. There's not a curfew right now. In fact, there is a curfew for the evening for LA, but it's still going just has gathered downtown Los Angeles from First and Main where that happened. So no idea where they're headed, what their plans are here, but for the most part, it looks like pretty peaceful, just a little dangerous for them to have been on the 110 at one point. I just feel bad for these cars that are getting stuck in all this traffic.
Yeah, they just got to come out of nowhere and suddenly, they got all these people walking around you.
A couple days ago, a lot of the protests began, the initial one that first night began at Pershing Square and quickly turned into somewhat of a nightmare, and where a lot of the looting began that night. But no idea if that's where they're headed, what direction they're wanting or planning to go. A lot of times, the folks that are marching, just like we've seen all day, Wendy's talked to a dozen or so of them, they say they just will continue to walk. They're here to express their voice and their support, no matter where and what direction they're going, they're just plan to walk.
Yeah, and this is also, as far as this particular group of protesters, from what we can see, no police presence. They may be somewhere there out of frame, but from what we can see, even on the pan shots, no police around.
So again, this is downtown Los Angeles, Figueroa, around the intersection of Figueroa and 6th. The group that you're looking at here, walking down Figueroa, another merging into them from 6th Street that had been on the 110 eastbound originally, some on bicycles. Also, most of these protesters are walking though. And we've had the protests in Hollywood and verging on West Hollywood at the moment, headed west on Santa Monica, and several other protests throughout our city.
All right, in the meantime, as we've been covering all this breaking news since last, Casey might be over there.
She's ready to tell us what the weather's like. You can tell from but it's a little bit warmer in Palmdale by 4 degrees. Taking a look at the satellite high pressure system sitting over the southwest, that will warm temperatures up for us this week, but then this low pressure system off the coast, that is going to give us increasing cloud cover, and as it moves through the area this week, well, the cloud cover will increase, so we'll wake up to morning low clouds and fog, and then also that's going to allow temperatures to cool off significantly by the weekend. Here's a look at the cloud cover for the rest of the afternoon. You can see partly to mostly cloudy skies for a lot of us, especially in those mountain communities. It will build as we make it into Tuesday night. Tomorrow morning, early, we'll wake up to morning low clouds and fog, but this is going to clear quickly, so we will call Wednesday afternoon mostly sunny. And here's a look at what we can expect for today. Again, mostly cloudy and skies for all of us. 90 degrees for that high today. Along the coast, partly cloudy today, and then look at tomorrow. You are going to make it into the triple digits before you start to cool off. A significant cool off by Thursday, even cooler by Friday, and then the weekend looks to be very comfortable. 80 degrees on Saturday, 84 and sunny on Sunday. And for the LA Basin today, 83 degrees and partly cloudy skies. Will warm up just a little bit for Wednesday, starting to cool off on Thursday. Very comfortable for Friday, and a nice comfortable weekend as well, with temperatures in the 70s and just a little bit above average. Back to you guys. All right, Casey, thanks so much for that.
All right, we'll be right back.
Really how everyone in the house is online and I can't get enough bandwidth to video chat with my book club.
Try 1 gig internet with AT&T Fiber. You get more bandwidth and HBO Max included. So Everyone stays entertained.
So I can just watch the show instead of reading the book?
Oh, well, I guess you could still read the subtitles.
Get entertainment grade 1 gig internet with AT&T Fiber. Now with HBO Max included. Bundle with AT&T TV for $39.99 a month each for a year. Limited availability in select areas. Call 1-877 only AT&T.
Your kitchen is the heart of your home. It's where you laugh, nurture, and connect with your family. If your kitchen is outdated and worn, Reborn Cabinets can transform it in as little as 3 days with our signature refacing.
Hi, my name is Vince Nardo, president of Reborn Cabinets. Now more than ever, it's important to have a beautiful, functional kitchen for your family. Sunday at Mom's is the thing our family misses the most. We're sure you feel the same way too. In the meantime, if you're looking for a kitchen remodel, we're here for you. And to make your kitchen transformation a reality, we're offering $0 down, 0 installation costs, and no payments for 2 full years. What? Are you feeling okay, Vince? No payments for 2 full years? I'm telling Dad, that's the best offer we've had since we started the company in '83. Call 888-2REBORN and get this crazy offer my brother's throwing out there.
We take extra precautions to keep you safe and offer contact-free installation. Call 888-2REBORN to get $0 down, 0 installation costs, and no payments for 2 full years.
Insurance didn't want to pay what my car accident was really worth, but I called the bonds firm and got $600,000.
What's your case really worth? Call us now and find out for free.
The Barnes Firm, 1-800-8-million.
As a mom of 2 kids, my schedule can get pretty hectic. It's a lot of work with the homework, crafts, keeping them busy. My friends told me about doing app-based grocery delivery. It gives me a lot of flexibility to be there for my kids and earn the money that I need. But now, politicians are trying to take away our ability to do independent work. It would force me to choose between my job and my children, and I don't want to do that. I'm happy, my children are happy. We have to protect this critical work.
Attention homeowners, this is a public service announcement. The federal government just announced $700 billion in national mortgage payment relief and dropped interest rates down to 0%. You may now be eligible to reduce or even eliminate paying your mortgage altogether, pay off debt, and get cash reserves until this crisis is over. A nonprofit mortgage relief center has been set up to help you check your eligibility for free simply by calling now. 1-800-700-5363. That's 1-800-700-5363.
Boxing champion Floyd Mayweather is honoring the memory of George Floyd. Mayweather personally reached out to Floyd's family and offered to pay for the funeral and memorial services. The CEO of Mayweather Promotions says the family accepted the boxer's offer. The funeral will be held June 9th in Floyd's hometown of Houston, Texas. Mayweather is also planning to pay for memorial services in Minnesota. And we thank you for joining us. We'll be back with our continuing special coverage of what is going on here in Southern California on the KTLA 5 News at 2 o'clock.
Sometimes you just have to take a leap of faith.
Stargirl, new series tonight at 8 on KTLA 5.
The number one thing to do if you need Social Security disability benefits is call Dr. Bill. I call Dr. Bill, and now my checks are coming in every month.
I know what to do to get you approved.
Sign up from anywhere with our safe, no-contact sign-up process.
Homeowners, these are challenging times, and as our country reopens, Rate Plus is here to help. If the interest rate on your home loan is higher than 2.5%, you need to call Rate Plus now. We're offering a 15-year fixed at just 2.5% rate and APR with no lender fees. That's right, 2.5% rate and APR, and we'll pay your title, escrow, and appraisal fees. You could save thousands. Call 800-816-7655. That's 800-816-7655 or visit rateplus.com.
Jerome showrooms are now open, but if you prefer to shop from home, you can now speak to a Jerome's expert and view products over FaceTime. Visit Jerome's.com, click the link, and schedule your personal FaceTime shopping experience with a Jerome's expert. View furniture, ask questions, even place your order from home, and purchase your furniture with no interest and make no payments for up to 90 days. Plus, Jerome's offers fast and free drop-off delivery. Visit Jerome's.com to FaceTime today.
Homeowners, experiencing the frustrations of low water pressure in the shower where you can't even wash the shampoo out of your hair, or the dreadful pipe leaks. Time to replace those old corroded pipes with brand new PEX or copper pipes.
Free Pipe Specialist will repipe your home in just 1 to 2 days at half the cost of a plumber. Plus, we offer a lifetime guarantee. Call today for your free in-home estimate tailored for your home. No more leaks and great water pressure.
The Millspring COVID key is made in Columbus, Ohio by military veterans. We do not source these from China. Use the Millspring COVID key to avoid touching contaminated surfaces. Use the Millspring COVID key to unlock and open doors. Use the Millspring COVID key to push buttons. Use the Millspring COVID key on touchscreens. We are shipping thousands of Millspring COVID keys every day to help flatten the curve. Get free shipping on all Millspring.com products when you use discount code FREEDOM at the Millspring.com checkout.
My name is Isabella, and I needed legal help. If I didn't have Jacoby and Myers on my side, I don't know if I would have gotten the surgery I got that helped me.
Protecting you since 1972, Jacoby and Myers.
Jacoby and Myers was with me every step of the way.
Protests are continuing throughout Southern California, calling for change in the memory of George Floyd. And out of downtown Los Angeles, where protesters are continuing a peaceful demonstration.
Yeah, this all started around 10 o'clock this morning, and KTLA5 Sarah Welch is live there with more. Sarah, where are you?
Hi, Lily. Good afternoon. We are in Grand Park right now. A lot going on throughout downtown LA, but right now let's show you this peaceful protest that continues here right now. Protesters have been holding signs. They've been chanting things like "I can't breathe" and "Black Lives Matter." You can also see they're standing in front of City Hall. We also want to mention the National Guard is stationed around the corner on the other side of City Hall. We've been hearing a lot of sirens throughout downtown. There's a lot of police throughout downtown right now blocking different roads. Protesters, we told, marched up onto the 110 freeway. We're told they're back now in the area of 6. Downtown is just filled with people who have come to speak up about the killing of George Floyd, but also to address what many say are the problems, including systemic racism that occurs, people say, within the LAPD. LAPD saying it's trying to show its solidarity with protesters. We'll show you some video. These are officers hugging the protesters. They've seen other officers taking a knee with crowds. LAPD Chief Michael Moore this morning calling the killing of George Floyd horrible, disgusting, and without justification. But that is not good enough for many of these protesters. And back here live again at Grand Park, that brings us to what's going on about a block away over at LAPD headquarters at the police commissioners meeting. It's been going on for several hours. We've been listening in to people air their grievances, and they are angry, frustrated, and fed up. Right out of the gate, right after Chief Moore gave his statements, people being allowed to speak, they trashed the Board of Commissioners, first of all, for what they call the inaccessibility of this virtual meeting. Originally, it was only set up for about 500 people to speak. There were hundreds and hundreds more, so the meeting initially got delayed so they could extend it to several thousand people to call in. The commissioner saying today that they're going to listen to everyone who calls in to air grievances, so we can expect that meeting to be a very long day. And Lou and Glenn, just as on the ground here with this protest, some of the same sentiments keep being repeated. Most all of the speakers say today that the protests in LA over the last couple of days are not just about George Floyd, but about problems within the police department here. And speaker after speaker were calling for the resignation of Chief Moore or to be fired by the police commission. The speaker is saying that, first of all, his comments yesterday about looters being responsible for Floyd's death were inexcusable. The chief has apologized, saying that he misspoke, but again, that is not good enough for the protesters here who believe that he should step down. The speakers also criticized the chief, they said this morning, for knowing how many officers have been injured during the unrest, but not knowing how many protesters have been hurt. For those calling into the meeting, again, they are calling LAPD's efforts to change hollow, believing that this has been going on for years and years, and it's nothing more than lip service. And a lot of the protesters here also feeling that it was LAPD who was escalating the violence with things like using rubber bullets. Many said they felt trapped during the protest, claiming that they were unaware of curfews, and that made them feel unsafer. So again, a lot going down here. You can hear the crowd getting loud. They are holding their signs. They are speaking their minds. They want change. They want reform. We'll be following this throughout the afternoon. For now, Lou and Glenn, we'll send it back to you in Hollywood.
All right, thank you, Sarah. And we've also been following the protests in Hollywood for a couple of hours now.
Yeah, that group split into two, possibly even three groups. One headed west, and Wendy Birch has been walking with them, dare I say, for hours. Hi, Wendy.
That's right. Hi. We're once again on Hollywood Boulevard, right here at Hollywood Boulevard and Wilcox, where once again we're seeing a march down the street.
Dominguez firm. Justice for the injured. You win or you don't pay. Call Pound Hurt on your cell today.
If you've been injured in a car accident, the two most important things to do are: one, call 911 for medical and police assistance, and two, take pictures and make notes of the accident, injuries, and parties. Getting us involved early is always better than later, as vital evidence could quickly be lost after an accident.
I was injured in a car accident, and the Dominguez firm got me $500,000.
The Dominguez firm treated me like family. The best injury lawyers for legal services sponsored by Attorney Andrew Van Arsdale.
For decades, survivors of childhood sexual abuse were told it was too late for them to seek justice. No more. Statute of limitations prohibited organizations like Catholic and Mormon churches, public and private school systems, Boy Scouts, and other youth organizations from being held accountable. No more. Call us today for a free confidential consultation. We're helping abuse survivors across the country say no more. Let us help you too.
Call 800-846-0409.
Make the most of your time at home and make your new normal better than ever. Train for a new career at Northwest College. Start your finish on campus and be ready to start a new career in less time than you think. Go to trustnw.com to get started now.
In challenging times, Freeway is proud to be your auto insurance partner of choice. You can save up to $839 without leaving your home.
I saved $839 on my car insurance by switching to Freeway.
We're open for you, and we are practicing social distancing. When it's time to shop for auto insurance, the answer is at your fingertips, and Freeway has the options to meet your needs. Freeway, driving savings, either by phone or in person. 800-420-2333. 800-420-2333.
Over 4 years ago, Wes Brown set out on a mission to help injured riders. We fight for the rights of riders every day because we are riders and we know what you're going through. If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, don't fight the insurance companies with any lawyer. Call 1-800-4BIKERS.
These guys will have your back. If you go down, call Russ Brown, motorcycle attorney.
Daily Mail TV. Weekdays at 5 on KTLA 5. Turn to KTLA 5 for continuing coverage of the unrest within Los Angeles and Southern California. The peaceful demonstrations and violent clashes. The response by authorities.
We will not be acknowledged for this lawlessness that we're seeing.
And the search for common ground.
Wherever you are, say something and do something. Treat people like you want to be treated.
Our team has the latest on how the protests are affecting our community and local businesses from the KTLA 5 News.
Back with some breaking news as we follow a major development in the investigation into George Floyd's death.
And the state of Minnesota has now launched a civil rights probe against the police department as nationwide protests continue. KTLA 5's Corrine Winter is live in our newsroom with an update. Hi, Corrine.
Hi there, Lou and Glenn. The Minnesota Department of Human Rights, they filed this civil rights charge today, 8 days after the death of George Floyd. The wave of protests, some of them heated, continue across the country. Protests from coast to coast, sparked by the death of George Floyd. In Minnesota, demonstrators rallied outside Governor Tim Walz's mansion in St. Paul, demanding an end to racial discrimination. Just today, the governor announced the state has filed a human rights complaint against the Minneapolis Police Department in Floyd's killing, after an officer was recorded on cell phone video with a knee on Floyd's neck for several minutes before he died. Governor Walz tweeted about this civil rights charge, writing, "They will investigate its policies, procedures, and practices over the past decade to determine if they engaged in systematic discriminatory practices." Meantime, today, more demonstrations flared in the nation's capital after a chaotic night. National Guard troops arrived outside the White House, summoned to help end the riots and unrest in Washington, D.C. After officials cleared the streets there ahead of the nighttime curfew, President Trump, who touted himself as a president of law and order, walked to St. John's Church along with a number of his top aides and held up a Bible after earlier remarks that wanted the military to stop the violence.
Where there is no God, there is no opportunity. Where there is no justice, there is no safety, there is no future.
Was overshadowed by what characterized as an inappropriate photo op outside the church. Among those taking aim, Democratic presidential opponent Joe Biden, who criticized President Trump while addressing a crowd in Philadelphia today.
Donald Trump has turned this country into a battlefield riven by old resentments and fresh fears. He thinks division helps him. His narcissism has become more important than the nation's well-being that he leads.
An attorney for Floyd's family, they confirmed today Biden is expected to attend Floyd's funeral set for next week. Services will be held on Tuesday. That's the latest in the newsroom. I'm Quinn Winter. We'll send it back to you now in the studio.
All right, thank you, Kareen. And once again, this is a live look at the protest in downtown Los Angeles. Not clear what intersection we're at here, but again, a large gathering of people. We did see some people exiting off the Harbor Freeway at 6th Street and kind of conversing with some other folks on Figueroa. This may be on Figueroa. You see there a car right there in the middle of the intersection. That's a bad spot to be right now. Again, it seems like there's a large gathering of people starting to gather in downtown Los Angeles.
Yeah, and that gathering, I'm not sure if this is the same gathering. It's just gotten larger. That started around 10 o'clock this morning at First in Main in downtown Los Angeles. We had images from that on KTLA here live in the 10 o'clock hour. These groups, or this particular group, sort of just mulling around here. It doesn't look like they're going in any specific direction at this hour. But we did about an hour ago, as Glenn mentioned, cyclists and protesters carrying signs on the 110 eastbound, sort of interacting with traffic. Was very dangerous, but smartly enough, they merged onto 6, and now in this area, we're thinking that this is Figueroa and 6 area for now.
Yeah, hopefully at some point here, well, somebody seems to be on top of that car right now. You know what, that is unnecessary. Just let whoever that is just get out of the area. They're kind of stuck, and they're sitting there waiting, showing some courtesy, so at least show him some courtesy.
In some capacity, you never know. This car could be part of the protesters, a group following the protesters, and maybe they're standing on there to make an announcement, to be able to get up higher and speak, and to be able to speak to the crowd, because it does seem like the crowd is sort of around that car. So maybe, in fact, that is what's happening there. We've seen cars follow the protesters sometimes, essentially in some capacity. Just at some point, you got to get back to where you started once the protest is over. But in an interesting way, some of these protests have literally turned into marches today, specifically the one we saw in Hollywood.
We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Greenhut, the CEO of Plexiderm. Seeing our friends and family up close and personal with video chat is wonderful these days. And it's even better if you look and feel your best. So how does Plexiderm perform to shrink the appearance of wrinkles, under-eye bags, and fine lines on a video conversation?
It's amazing. My friends, my family, they can't believe it. They're all calling. There's been creams, there's been lotions, concealers. Nothing works like this.
When I tried Plexiderm the first time, my daughter said, "Oh, Dad, did you get a haircut?" And I said, "No, I didn't get a haircut. I tried this Plexiderm product out. Oh, you look so much younger." I said, "Oh, thank you."
We've created the best offer yet with our $14.95 Plexiderm 10-minute challenge. We know you'll want to look and feel your best. So before you step in front of that video chat, Plexiderm your crow's feet, Plexiderm your fine lines, Plexiderm your wrinkles and those pesky 11 lines between your eyes, and watch them visibly shrink from view in 10 minutes. Plexiderm works so well, makeup artists, celebrities in Hollywood, and even people across the country just like you feel years younger in minutes.
Oh my God.
I can't believe I have no lines in my face. I'm like 20 years younger. Yes, it's really good. All these lines are gone. Amazing. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I look amazing. That's like so full of myself. Oh my gosh. Wow.
The instant results are from silicates found in shell clay. Once applied, your skin tightens and firms, rapidly reducing the appearance of under eye bags and wrinkles from view in minutes. And the effects last up to 10 hours. Yes, the science is incredible, but the results even better. So if under eye bags and wrinkles make you look tired and older, take action with our Plexiderm 10-minute challenge and look incredible on your next video call. And try it now for only $14.95. Plus get free shipping at plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
All right, now to Riverside residents last night taking to the streets holding peaceful protests with the sheriff actually joining in at one point.
But later in the evening, the atmosphere shifted and chaos did begin there. KTLA5's Courtney Field live in Riverside. With more on that, hi Courtney.
Hey there, right now in downtown Riverside, it is really peaceful. You've got one of the last businesses that wasn't boarding up. However, I can tell you that Riverside County is not having a curfew tonight. The sheriff didn't feel that it was necessary. People have been coming by trying to clean up trash, but it's pretty much all cleaned up here. I'm right by the Mission Inn. I did want to start with showing you a powerful moment from yesterday. Take a look. That was Riverside Sheriff Chad Bianco taking a knee with some of his deputies alongside protesters at yesterday's Stand in Solidarity demonstration honoring George Floyd. The action sending the message how violence is not the answer. Protesters of all ages and races initially gathered at the Justice Center around 4 p.m., but then by 6 p.m., when the county curfew went into effect, most protesters had gone home, but some 200 troublemakers ended up in a face-off with riot police as bottles were thrown. Police used rubber bullets, pepper balls, and tear gas to push back the crowds amid exploding fireworks. At one point, Sheriff Bianco was even hit by a screwdriver, but said he was okay. Multiple stores were damaged, including a T-Mobile and a Subway shop, the Wells Fargo Bank, and a dentist's office. A pawn shop was broken into, and Riverside police say at least 30 to 40 people looted the local CVS on Market Street. We spoke with the building owner about getting vandalized.
It was families and community members and people coming from all over to be a part of the protest and send a message. And it was great to see the families together and all walks of life and all types of people coming together for this. But it's just a shame that people are taking advantage of the situation to, criminal behavior. The building's turn of the century. It's been here forever and it's survived a lot of things, and it'll survive this along with the community.
And that building owner has this 4K camera that you see right there. And as we pull out, I just saw two men coming by. They removed those plywood wood boards there, and there was an ATM behind there, and there was a lot of damage. It was all smashed in, so they were assessing the damage. But a lot of people here asking me, are there more scheduled protests for tonight? They're concerned, and all I could tell them was that there is not a curfew put in place for Riverside County tonight. Reporting live in Riverside, I'm Courtney Friel, KTLA 5 News.
All right, Courtney, thank you so much for that. We will be right back after this commercial break.
If you need Social Security, disability, or SSI benefits, call me. Do it now.
The number one thing to do if you need Social Security disability benefits is call Dr. Bill.
Whether you were injured, got sick, or had anxiety and depression, Dr. Bill can help get you approved. You don't even have to leave your house. Do it first. Do it now.
I call Dr. Bill, and now my checks are coming in every month.
I know what to do to get you approved.
Sign up from anywhere with our safe, no-contact sign-up process. There are those who, when faced with fear, respond with hope. To all the real heroes,
courageous when you need it most. Thank you.
Our world has changed dramatically over the last few weeks. Seems like nothing's the same anymore. So what are we going to do about it? We're going to keep our promise. At the Boys and Girls Clubs of Los Angeles Harbor, we are keeping our promise by serving our youth and our families now more than ever. With our 6 food distribution sites, we are feeding over 1,500 people a day, and we are looking to distribute over 5,000 bucks. Please help us feed more families by donating $20.
I was injured in an accident when I least expected it. I was disabled, I was in a lot of pain, and honestly, I just didn't know what to do.
At the Dominguez firm, we know that after a serious injury, the last thing you want is to have to deal with medical bills and insurance companies.
Thank God my fiance told me to call Pound Her. The Dominguez firm, they took care of everything.
No one will fight harder for you. No one.
I got LA's powerhouse injury firm in my corner.
Call
The Dominguez firm. Don't delay. Call Pound Hurt on your cell today. On Welcome Guest.
So, what brings you here, Mom?
Do I need a reason?
I'd like one. On 2.5 Men, weeknights at 7:30 on KTLA 5.
All right, we're going to take you back now to the protests in Hollywood, which actually was our top story on the KTLA 5 News at 11 a.m.
Wendy Birch has been with the protesters and essentially the marchers for hours. Hi, Wendy.
Hi, everyone. I'm just trying to get my bearings once again. We're on Hollywood Boulevard, right in Ibar, about 1 block from where this protest, which has now evolved to a very large march, began around 11:30. LAPD helicopter is overhead, circling me right now. Those patrol cars just pulled up along that street. We'll make a walk. Why don't we walk down there as we talk about this? We'll walk down and see what's happening down this street. Now, we have seen the numbers of people grow exponentially over the last couple of hours, and we see a very, very large group behind us as well, coming up Hollywood Boulevard, heading eastbound. I'm coming up to Cosmo now, just one of the small side streets on Hollywood Boulevard. I see a number of people here, people holding cell phones, and a quick response by LAPD. I'll walk around to see what's happening here, but I can't tell you and I can't characterize that this protest has been peaceful all the way through. I do see 3 people kneeling down. They are not resisting arrest. They have their hands behind their back. The police are holding other protesters back at this point. Just gonna try to get a better vantage. I know we weren't very far, but I can tell you this. Now the crowd is shouting, "Don't shoot." Arrests are on. I can see by a female officer. There are 3 officers right now conducting this arrest. There are people yelling, "Put the gun away." There is 1 officer with a weapon drawn. The other ones appear just to be handcuffing these 3 people. Again, we don't know what took place or what transpired, but this is, of course, in the heart of what has been a very, very large march. It's been going on now for the better part of the last 2.5 hours. And what started as just a couple hundred people at the corner of Hollywood and Vine has grown to thousands of people. There have been different factions of this spread out. It's been hard to keep this many people together in one single march. But we have seen them merge and split apart and merge back together again. Again, these are 3 people being taken into custody. It's unclear what transpired, but they don't appear to be resisting arrest. This seems to be police standard business here as they take these 3 people into custody. I'll try to get some information as to what these people were accused of, but why don't we back up a little bit? We basically showed you that scene appears to be transpiring as the walk still continues and the march still continues. Many people stopping, but many people just walking by as they continue to march in what has become a very large Black Lives Matter group. Now, what will be interesting is to see if more people gather around this specific area because this arrest has been taking place. You see some people curious as to what's happening, just as we were walking over. Many people holding up their fists in solidarity. By and large, though, and I don't want what we just showed you there, those arrests, to underscore that the large majority, we have not witnessed any violence. We have, aside from a few signs with a few expletives, we mostly have seen people very steadfast in their determination to really take their message to the street, to promote the Black Lives Matter movement, to say that silence is equating to violence. I've seen that poster many times. There have been many different signs that say, I can't breathe, as people look back to what the George Floyd situation was. We just turn back around there and you can see many more people are in fact gathered around that area, stopping by, curious as to what transpired there. I feel that we've done an adequate job reporting what took place there, and that doesn't deserve much more of our attention other than if something escalates at this point. We haven't seen any other police respond to this area, but what we did see, remember just a moment ago, this intersection was empty, and again, we're now seeing hundreds, if not thousands of people walk by this intersection of Ivar and Hollywood once again. With that, Glenn Lou, I'm going to send it back to you, and we will get a better sense of what's happening over there in that corner as those 3 individuals were taken into custody. And I'll try to get some information from LAPD, identifying myself as a member of the media, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
Yeah, it'd be nice to find out exactly what happened, because obviously they were not just marching down the street with the other protesters. Something happened that caused them to be arrested.
All right, Wendy, thank you for that. We'll check in a bit. Let's check in now with Colton Von Pertz. He's up in Sky 5 with a look overhead. Hi, Colton.
Hi, Lou. Hi, Glenn. That's right. We're looking at Orange Avenue here, just south of Fountain. I'm actually going to go back up to Fountain here just for a second and show you what's happening there. Hundreds, if not thousands of protesters out here, taking up miles of roadway. But I want to focus on this intersection here because this is something that I haven't seen over the last few days. We actually have this burgundy vehicle that you can see there in the intersection pull up, open its trunk, and they're passing out water bottles. This has been a very peaceful protest down here in the Hollywood area, and you can see the community aspect of it just with that, like someone bringing water bottles out, handing it out to those demonstrators out here walking these streets. It's a very long walk. It's warm out here. So that is a very kind thing to do. You can just see how there's a community aspect to it. But as I pull out, I'm going to show you the size of this. This has been going on for probably 10-15 minutes through that one intersection. There's still probably another 5 minutes of people to go through that intersection. But as we come back down here 1 street south here on Orange, we see what's almost a traffic jam. The protesters have made their way in a circle around the block here and now are kind of just falling in on themselves as they come up to this intersection here, which I think might be Gregory. But you can just see the large amount of people out here. The LAPD is monitoring this closely. You can see how they're just turning around, going down this intersection here. This is Santa Monica. They're going eastbound on right down here. But you can see now how traffic's getting a little affected by this, as those drivers weren't necessarily expecting to see this large crowd out here in the middle of the street. But for the most part, very peaceful. The majority of the people just holding their signs, saying what they have to say, and following the crowd through the streets here at Santa Monica and so on.
It is really interesting how this protest, essentially now turned into a march, has grown so large compared to when we first came on at 11 a.m. this morning. It was a fairly large crowd that had started at Hollywood and Vine and then got essentially split up at one point, and they headed in different directions. One headed east and the other headed west, at one point dropping down to Santa Monica Boulevard. And in fact, I think one of those groups has been headed on Santa Monica Boulevard west toward West Hollywood. They got as far as La Brea the last time we checked in with them. But all of this in Hollywood and at Orange, that's a massive amount of people.
Yeah, and it's amazing how it's stretched out to, 5 or 6 blocks.
All right, let's check back in with Wendy.
Go! Hi! You remember that arrest? We're right back here. More police units have arrived. A few tear gas canisters were shot. The crowd is concerned that they have us on fire. Sirens, there are many officers responding. I see bicycle cops right behind us. All right. We're getting down. Thank you. We're getting down, Kilpatrick. We're getting down. I'm at Channel 5. I'll back up. Again, 3 people were taken into custody about 10 minutes ago. I appreciate it. We're just trying to give it a greater thing. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, I appreciate it. LAPD has given us the okay to stay right here. Yes, he is. He's my security. He is not. This is my security. This is my photographer. We were just standing on it. Thank you, officer. So let me set the scene if you're just tuning in. About 10 minutes ago, as we were going live, we saw a number of people gather at this corner. This is sort of the side streets along Hollywood Boulevard. This is Cosmos and Hollywood Boulevard. 3 people were taken into arrest. It seemed to be that they were not resisting arrest in any way. We do not know what those 3 were accused of doing. We just know that LAPD had them in handcuffs. Again, they were not resisting arrest. We witnessed the arrest take place. There didn't seem to be, from what I was seeing with my own eyes, any unnecessary force. Again, there was no resisting of arrest. But it did generate a great crowd around. Many people had their cell phone cameras out. They were watching with interest, trying to figure out what was happening. Many people were just yelling, "Don't shoot." There was one officer who had a weapon drawn. Again, that is standard protocol, though, when an officer takes anyone into custody. Again, I've watched a lot of arrests take place with LAPD. From what I saw, there was nothing excessive being done. And again, we don't know what the situation was that warranted those arrests. But what we can tell you is that as the crowd continued to grow, and as those officers with the suspects began to pull away, the crowd that was walking down Hollywood Boulevard in peaceful protest, heading westbound, they stopped and gathered around. And that's when the police kind of came together. They formed a line, and there was an officer with 8.
All right,
Cahuenga Boulevard, and we are just west of Ibar. So we're right in between 2 major intersections. I can tell you right now that these officers right there are coming in with their clubs. They're trying to push the crowd back. We walk back as well. Then you can see officers marching behind them in a line. We're going to keep walking back with the officers as they push people back. What's that? Can we go that way along the tracks? Thank you. We appreciate that. You're right. He's with me. The LAPD just let us walk back through. Again, and that's another tear gas canister right there. And now they're pushing back. Water bottles are being thrown, tear gas canisters. This is the first violence that we've seen. This is the first flashbang. I'm sorry, they're flashbangs. I misspoke. These are not tear gas. These are flashbang canisters. My apologies if I misrepresented that. I'm still live with you, but I feel like there's not much I can say right now. I think that we should watch this unfold.
all right, again, this is a protest that started in Hollywood about 11 o'clock this morning. And it's broken up into several groups.
Glenn, are you back with me?
Yeah, it seems like a change in tactics here after that arrest.
Okay. So, yeah, there is a change in tactics. The police are looking out for us. We continue to go live here. I can tell you that there's a large crowd at Cahuenga Boulevard. But here is the epicenter right here, right at Hollywood Boulevard and Ibar. This is just 1 block from where this would have been characterized as a very peaceful protest in March had started. Now, again, this escalated quite quickly after 3 people were taken into custody. There is a line of police officers right here at Ibar pushing crowds back. We've been told to take a few steps back as well. There's one protester in the middle of the street there. And again, these cars, there were no real strong roadblocks through here. There was a lot of traffic that was still going up and down Hollywood Boulevard throughout all of this. So it's safe to say that these cars were just sort of stuck in all of this. Although I do want to point this out. When people traffic that I'm watching through this area the last few hours, these were not people going to work. Businesses were shut down. These were automobiles that were clearly coming because they wanted to be a part of this. There were people hanging out of windows, out of sunroofs, and now you see those protesters right there taking a knee, many of them one knee, taking a knee, holding their sign. Here's that these people, they're willing to be arrested. What they're doing here is peaceful at this point, but the flashbangs are going off again. For those of you unfamiliar, flashbangs are just the very loud canisters that are shot off. It's a tactic that's used often in police work. And I apologize once again for mischaracterizing rather that flashbang of tear gas earlier. It's difficult in a fluid situation to determine what exactly was saying. I thought the canisters and wrongfully assumed at that moment that they were tear gas. No tear gas, to my knowledge, has been shot at any of these protesters. One thing that's interesting as well, had this same arrest happened, say a half hour ago, 45 minutes ago, we had thousands of people walking through here. Now we have a couple hundred, and there are still some that are pushed back beyond Cahuenga that are still staying in the area. But for this part, these are the people that were, for their part, marching peacefully down Hollywood Boulevard as part of this large rally and protest that started around 11:30 today. They came upon the arrest that was taking place of those three suspects that were taken into custody. And again, I didn't just start calling them suspects, so three individuals who were taken into custody. We're not sure what had escalated there, but this quickly turned into something much more. And the police have moved in. Again, I see one officer holding one of those green, I don't really want to call it a gun, one of those green, Nick, do you have a word for that? What he's holding, it's for the flashbangs? Yeah, the canisters. Okay, we're so bad. Officers are telling us to keep a safe distance. I have to say, the LAPD quickly recognized that we were members of the media and put us back to the other side. Yeah, you've got officers right there as well. Oh, this woman got caught up right in this. Not good too. Hi there. Boy, you guys got caught up in something, huh? We're with KTLA News. Is it okay if I talk to you? So, you guys were walking, you were part of the, did you come down here to see the rally, to be a part of it?
Some water bottles to people, yeah.
Did you know what you were coming up on when you came here?
I mean, we've seen all the protests throughout the last few days. We have a pretty good idea of what to expect. It seems like, we've got our peaceful areas, but they're being broken up. So,
as you're in the middle of all of this, locked in by the police this way and the police this way, and witnessing what's going on, what are your thoughts?
I mean, it's just startling to see. I think that these folks have a message they're trying to get across, and day after day, we're met with just, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know if any change is happening. Are people listening to what they're actually saying, or are we just trying to break it up and get over with this? So, it's startling, but it's something I think is really important, and we're just what we can.
Well, thank you very much. So there you have it. Someone right there just trying to do something good. Let's walk a little bit. I don't want to get too far away from what's happening here. This corner of Ivar and Hollywood seems to be the intersection that is most volatile at this moment. However, as I look back around, I see police right there forming a line, a barricade right across those. That's the intersection, or the corner rather, where those three individuals were taken into custody. Just beyond on Cahuenga, we have police also right there blocking any entry. We have a few more motorcycle police officers responding right now. And the LAPD helicopter is circling overhead right now. One interesting part about this area of Hollywood as well, I can tell you there are a number of street cameras all throughout here as well. Those were installed years ago for community policing through this area. Got Suburban that you're seeing right there. Got the SWAT Suburban. You can see the side railings on these Suburbans. That's how SWAT arrives on the scene. More officers are now approaching. They are heading full sirens, full lights and sirens down Hollywood Boulevard eastbound. It makes me wonder too, and I guess it's a question worth asking. When these people came, joining what they attempted or what appeared to be a peaceful protest and march and rally, whether they ever imagined that they'd be caught up in this. These people, many of them were just marching peacefully, and then they came upon that police activity, and then again, this has quickly escalated. Now, at this point, I haven't seen any arrests take place. I have seen an increased police presence in all directions. And I know sometimes when you speak to people who are on the other side of what the police are trying to do, they often interpret more police as a quick escalation. They feel like it's a greater infringement on their First Amendment rights. But for the police, and again, we've worked closely with them for a number of years, we know that they believe that there is strength in numbers, and they've seen situations get out of hand quite quickly. It appears evident that those people that are in the middle of the intersection right there, they have their hands raised. It appears to me asking or willing to be arrested at this point. But let's see if the police move in. Now I see a number of officers as well with the plastic ties. I'm also hearing a bullhorn. So someone over there has a bullhorn, whether or not that person is part of the rally and trying to incite the people that are here, or whether they're trying to dissipate it, I can't tell at this point. But I am trying to watch in all directions. I can tell you back down at Cahuenga, things appear to be pretty calm down there. I think that there are a lot of people just sitting there watching what's taking place a block away from them. But there doesn't appear to be any movement or any push. And now it appears that the marchers are beginning to walk north, up Ibar. As I mentioned, there was someone with a bullhorn. I heard someone with a bullhorn. That person could have been encouraging these marchers to keep moving. LAPD has made a line here right along Hollywood Boulevard as well along Ibar. There are some officers prepared to shoot additional flashbangs. But those people, even those people that were kneeling and willing to be arrested, there's some yelling going on, but none of them appear to be approaching the police officers directly. You see that man with the purple bandana really trying to talk those people down, trying to get them moving along. You can not only hear the emotion from where we are, you feel it, you sense it, you see it. You can feel it in the air. There's an intent. And you can see there are those people that are passionate about the Black Lives Matter movement that want to see peaceful resolutions to all of this. More police officers now crossing the street there on Ibar. Yeah, I see more officers with those flashbang canisters, but none of them appear to be pointing them in anyone's direction. Down the street here. Oh, all right. All right. A photographer has a feeling that those marchers there are going to loop the clock, move up Ibar, and then come back around. More sirens as well. We try to get a view. We're really going to get as close as we possibly can without interfering with police work or without inciting any of these people. We see a long line of police cars, though, heading down Hollywood Boulevard right now, and more motorcycle officers responding as well. Ibar and Hollywood now appears to still be the epicenter, although it's moving a little bit north. And we've been instructed by LAPD to stay on this side of them. With the, I'm very careful with my word choice here. When the skirmish, I guess, began, we were escorted through the police line, and we were told to stay back beyond this. We're going to try to be respectful of the parameters that we have here. We still want to bring you the very best coverage we can.
Yeah, Wendy, you know, while you, about the time
Lou, do you have a question? Yeah,
about the time you were talking to that woman in the car that was there to hand out water, the line of protesters were actually advancing towards, from where the motorcycles are now, towards where those officers were set up on the other side of the intersection. They got about halfway and they stopped, and then that's when they started heading north. So it's almost like they looked like they were about to challenge the police, but then they moved on.
Walk a little this way.
Decided to back down.
I have to say it again. I'm so careful with my word choice here, but it appears that there are those who have stepped up in the Black Lives Matter movement and have tried to de-escalate situations. At least that's what I've witnessed when someone seemed to be yelling profanities. I heard other people say, hey, you know, can you calm down? And I think that's what we saw here. I think we saw a pretty strong escalation. And then I think there's some people that were on those bullhorns, people that wanted to step forward and be real leaders in this movement, came forward. Are you comfortable moving a little bit closer here? No one's pushing us back at this point. Let's go on this side. We'll come around. We'll come around here. Try to get down here. Hello, officer. Again, we're at Hollywood Boulevard and Ibar. Just set the scene if you're just joining us. There are people that were involved in the march down there at Cahuenga. And if we can. Okay, there's some communication going on right now. Let's focus on what's happening right here. You've got an LAPD officer talking to a gentleman that's in, or I believe that's a gentleman, in the red pickup. And then I have someone from a bullhorn talking to the group or addressing this group. Okay, I'm stepping back. I'm just trying to listen in, Gwen and Luke, for a moment. Officer, who's talking? Officer, Officer, do you know who's talking right now? Is it you guys talking, or is it them? All right, officers backing up from that pickup truck. Okay, they're pushing the crowd eastbound Hollywood towards Fuega. Okay. I'm hearing, what we're hearing is police traffic. We're hearing this officer right here. And what I'm hearing, the echoes I'm hearing from, all the officers have communication devices, which is not unexpected. They have walkie-talkies. Many of these officers have their walkie-talkies turned up so they can hear. That commanding officer right there, I believe that's Captain Janal with the LAPD. He's been communicating with this tactical group right here, trying to keep eyes and ears on exactly what's going, so all of the officers know exactly what to do and how to move. We have to take one step back. I want to say with this, I see a number of protesters still kind of facing towards the police, but that number has substantially dwindled from where it was. I would say a couple of hours ago, or not a couple of hours, I'm sorry, a few minutes ago, we saw 100, possibly 150. Now it looks like we have a few dozen incredibly passionate people right now, not willing to back down completely from the PD. One man on his cell phone, he appears to be speaking and crying at the same time. And the police are still telling those people to back up. LAPD. Okay. Down here, all right. Down there, okay, here's what's happening. It looks like the command from LAPD is to push these people off of Hollywood Boulevard. When I say these people, I could use a better word choice, to push the individuals that have come here to rally, to protest, to push them off of Hollywood Boulevard and back up these side streets. And the same thing is happening over here. Police are now pushing by actually running up these side streets. We'll run with them for a moment and we'll send it back to you.
Let's go up to Colton, Law Enforcement. Colton, it looks like they're pushing those protesters back there?
Glenn, that's right. We just saw them begin to push those protesters northbound on Ivar. You can see that skirmish line that ran through the past skirmish line, and they created a new one, pushing that group back. And I think that might be their tactic for today. But as I pull out a little wider, you can see, like what he was talking about, you got a mobile field force, you got other skirmish lines here at Hollywood and Ivar, but the majority of that group has made its way northbound up to Yucca and has made their way now westbound on Yucca back to Cahuenga, where another group was working northbound from Hollywood as well, and now they're working their way westbound Cahuenga. But let's go back to that skirmish line we were just watching, as that seems to be like the most tense scene at this moment. But you can see a large contingency of officers. You can see those protesters in the street with their hands up, using umbrellas, possibly to shield themselves. We're not sure of their intention there. However, they are still here and conversing in some way with those officers. You can see other protesters, what looks like trying to calm the situation and kind of break up whatever tension was there. You can see that conversation going there, but a large contingency of officers down here. We see at least two other super large groups in the area kind of making their way back this direction. So we'll have to see what the LAPD has in store for managing that situation. But you can just see how these officers are beginning to push this group forward off Ivar here in Hollywood. I'm going to send it back down to you.
All right, trying to de-escalate what was a very tense situation about 10 minutes ago. They were in Hollywood at the intersection of Hollywood Boulevard and Ivar. Protesters police officers trying to break them up. Of course, we will continue our coverage coming up at the top of the hour.
I was injured in an accident when I least expected it. I was disabled. I was in a lot of pain. And honestly, I just didn't know what to do.
At the Dominguez firm, we know that after a serious injury, the last thing we want is to have to deal with medical bills and insurance companies.
Thank God my fiance told me to call Pound Her. The Dominguez firm, they took care of everything.
No one will fight harder for you. No one.
I got LA's powerhouse injury firm in my corner.
Call
The Dominguez firm. Don't call Pound Hurt on your cell today.
We asked real customers what they really love about Spectrum Internet and TV.
Spectrum Internet has the fastest speeds for everything I do.
There is no turning wheel. It's immediate.
Spectrum is the fastest. Bam.
Get the fastest download speeds with the most reliable performance with Spectrum Internet, delivering starting speeds of 200 megabits. That's more than enough for all your devices for $44.99 a month. Call 833-906-4499.
I can't get over how much on-demand Spectrum has. I can literally watch a new movie every night.
I got all my shows, and he's got all his shows. With the Spectrum TV app, I can watch live TV anywhere. It's perfect.
Add Spectrum TV and enjoy more free HD and more free on demand. Plus, use the Spectrum TV app to watch live TV on the go. All from $44.99 a month. Call 833-906-4499.
The fact that they don't have contracts, that says a lot about their service.
Get Spectrum Internet and TV for $4.99 a month each with no contracts. Install Spectrum services yourself. Get a self-installation kit shipped right to your home. Call 833-906-4499.
The world has changed. Northwest College can help you change with it. Start training from home now, join us on campus later, and learn the skills and confidence you need to be ready for a new career in less time than you think. Northwest College. Let's get started together.
This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by attorney Andrew Van Arsdale.
For decades, survivors of childhood sexual abuse were told it was too late for them to seek justice. No more. Statute of limitations prohibited organizations like the Catholic and Mormon churches, public and private school systems, Boy Scouts, and other youth organizations from being held accountable. No more. Call us today for a free confidential consultation. We're helping abuse survivors across the country say no more. Let us help you too.
Call 800-846-0409.
CarPro is all about quality service and great deals like this one. Drive home a brand new Honda Civic for only $119 a month. The Civic is fun to drive and very fuel efficient. So if you're looking for a great deal, visit us at our newest store, CarPro's Honda El Monte.
Hello, Southern California. This is your injury attorney, Jacob Emlund. Over the past 24 years, I've seen firsthand how resilient we are as a community. Although we've never experienced anything like the coronavirus, I know we'll get through it and eventually be stronger because of it. It's during these tough times that turning to someone you can trust means more than ever. So remember, my team and I may be working remotely, but we're still here fighting for you 24 hours a day.
Now at 3, marching with a message from downtown LA to the San Fernando Valley to the heart of Hollywood, thousands of people are protesting across Southern California. Good afternoon, I'm Glenn Walker.
And I'm Luke Parker. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. We are covering the protests from the ground and from the air.
Our team coverage begins with Wendy Bird. She's live in Hollywood, where some people have now been taken into custody. Wendy?
Yeah, I saw 2 people arrested. It was kind of I saw 2 people arrested. Thanks. I'm sorry. I was getting a miscue there in my ear. Let me set the scene. We're here at the intersection of Ivar and Hollywood, where we've been reporting live for the better part of the last hour. There was some tense situations that I have to